Thank you very much, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And the Chrysler's back. So what we're going to do is a dedicated video on how to actually assemble and build the Exotica and super stunning Evo Performance Tail Tidy for the R90. Just a dedicated video on the installation of actually installing and building it, so that if that's all you need to watch, you have that option. Let's get into it. Yeah.
It's showtime.
So this is the unit. You need to turn the factory tail tidy the other way around. And we're now going to work on disassembling this to pull this piece away. And that as well, and then we can work on the indicators. Next you're going to need tools, because there are two nuts holding the rear line cluster in place. I don't like it. Okay, well this unit has just got a bit of an upgrade, just a softer cover. Okay, we need a tool for that. It's a 10, you're going to need a 10 mil. You need to get in here and start undoing the nuts that are holding the rear light cluster together, and they're not terribly tight. They're tight enough that you can use like a socket tool, or you can use like a hand tool like this, and you can just get in there and just start undoing them, and already the rear light cluster is already coming away, so that's fab. Very complicated. It's a beautiful unit, LED as well. BMW quality LED silver plate light. Okay, that's that. So your two nuts, hopefully you can see them, and 10 mil. Okay, so you've done that. Next thing you're going to work on is you're going to want to disconnect the gorgeous BMW LED indicators. So you're going to need a Torx. That Torx is definitely not big enough. tool. That's alright, actually pretty good fit. You need a T30. Yeah. T. T30, like so. And then you're going to need a ratchet tool. And then you're going to need a 10mm socket. You need that 10mm socket because you have a nut on the bolt, and then you have the top. And you're going to need, and as you start undoing the, there you go, the bolt, it's going to be fighting against you and against the nut. So you just got to keep undoing it. Then stop. And it's already coming away. And that's just BMW perfection there. Okay. Okay, it is just a nut on bolt. What you can do, because that nut is specifically for this bolt, instead of having a bolt and a nut lying around, you could actually just screw the nut onto the bolt, so you're keeping the bolt and the washer. So there's a washer here and the bolt together. Less chance of losing it, plus you know that the nut that you're using and the washer is tied with that bolt. So we're going to turn it around, and then we're going to do the same to the other side. It's kind of interesting to note that actually we're not actually seeing any Loctite at all on the fixings, so must be a reason why BMW are not using Loctite. Okay, this one's coming away as well. So I'm doing the last indicator. You're just using the spanner to hold the nut as you undo, and they'll undo together. They'll undo in their own good time, you know. And then once you're happy they're both loose, you can then undo, remembering to keep the nut and the washer together. So again, what you're going to do, and what you can do, is just by hand re-screw the nut together. Okay, so we're making, actually, it feels pretty decent progress so far. We're doing pretty well. Let's keep it up. Next, you're going to need tools, because there are two nuts holding the rear line cluster in place. Okay. Well, this unit has just got a bit of an upgrade. Just a softer cover. Okay, we need a tool for that. Okay, it's a 10. You're going to need a 10 mil. You need to get in here and start undoing the nuts that are holding the rear light cluster together, and they're not terribly tight. They're tight enough that you can use like a socket tool, or you can use like a hand tool like this, and you can just get in there and just start undoing them. And already the rear light cluster is already coming away, so that's fab. Very complicated. It's a beautiful unit, LED as well. BMW quality LED silver plate light. Okay, that's that. So your two nuts, hopefully you can see them, and 10 mil. Okay, so you've done that. Next thing you're going to work on is you're going to want to disconnect the gorgeous BMW LED indicators. So you're going to need a Torx. That Torx is definitely not big enough. It's not big enough at all. That's alright, actually pretty good fit. You need a T30. Yeah. T30.
Cool.
Like so. And then you're going to need a ratchet tool. And then you're going to need a 10mm socket. You need that 10mm socket because you have a nut on the bolt, and then you have the top. And you're going to need, and as you start undoing the, there you go, the bolt, it's going to be fighting against you and against the nut. So you just got to keep on undoing it. Then stop. And it's already coming away. And that's just BMW perfection there. Okay. Okay, it is just a nut on bolt. What you can do, because that nut is specifically for this bolt, instead of having a bolt and a nut lying around, you could actually just screw the nut onto the bolt, so you're keeping the bolt and the washer. So there's a washer here and the bolt together. There less chance of losing it, plus you know that the nut that you're using and the washer is tied with that bolt. So we're going to turn it around, and then we're going to do the same to the other side. It's kind of interesting to note that actually we're not actually seeing any Loctite at all on the fixings, so must be a reason why BMW are not using Loctite. Okay, this one's coming away as well. See, I'm doing the last indicator. You're just using the spanner to hold the nut as you undo, and they'll undo together. They'll undo in their own good time, you know. And then once you're happy they're both loose, you can then undo, remembering to keep the nut and the washer together. So again, what you're going to do, and what you can do, is just by hand rescrew the nut together. Okay, so we're making, actually, it feels pretty decent progress so far. We're doing pretty well. Let's keep it up. Okay, well, this is interesting. This is something that EvoTech Performance hasn't shown or hasn't mentioned. BMW, keeping the wiring very, very tidy and all together, so they have used a cable tie where the indicator wires and the rear light cluster meet together. And the rear light cluster and the indicators, they all have to come apart, they all have to come away from the tail, because you then need to reinstall them. So this cable tie is in the way, and we need to remove it. And it is just BMW quality, so it is so tight. We're gonna have to be very careful here. Oh, god damn. Oh, we don't want to damage any of this. Yeah. This is going to be very difficult, because BMW have done such an outstanding job. They've made trying to actually remove the cable tie an absolute nightmare, because every time you think of where you're gonna place the snips, you're so close to the wiring. Oh god, I just hates it. Ah, okay, we are away. The trick is Luke Ryan's tagged this area. Come on, iPhone. You know, all Apple's technology, and it can't even be bothered to focus in the right area because it's just being stupid. So Luke Ryan's took the snips and he attacked like so. He attacked on the head of the cable tie and just kept pressing and pressing and pressing until eventually it came away. What you need to do now is you need to look at now disconnecting the rear rear light cluster, so now we can turn the tail with your body round, and now we just got to follow the wiring loom. Oh, fuck jobs. That's how blue crisis like this. So how is that going to disconnect? Okay, so we've got this electrical connector here with a tab here. We can only assume the easiest thing to do is to look at the indicator wires, pull them away so they're separated, and then that leaves you the main wire, which is this unit here. So we need to disconnect the indicators. That's what we need to do. We need to find the tab. There's like a tab, blue price, it's not really that big one. It's a very smart tab, look at this. How do we let any lift on that? We're not breaking it. The key is what we've got to try and do is actually remove. Doesn't help when you're wearing gloves either. So, not easy. Undo the connectors. It's just these two.
It's not about prying it up, it's about getting something between the tab and that, and then pulling the connector out. Do you know which ones go to which? Once you disconnect this, you'll be able to reconnect them with no problem?
Yes.
How do you know that which is which? They are both look the same, so what if that one got plugged into this one by accident?
Take a felt tip or black marker pen.
Use a sticky coloured dots. Go. My drawer in the office, right hand side, sticky coloured dots.
So this is actually a very good point, because
these are your indicators. The trick is you need to be able to get a tool underneath this tab, and then with leverage start to pull the connector away. What you've got to think about is, this is what EvoTech Performance does not describe in the video of how to install the Tail Tidy, is if you look at the indicators, you've got to think to yourself, the electronic system has been wired so that these two leads are for left indicator, and the second connector and the wires go for the right indicator. So if you get the indicator, if the indicators are switched over the other way around and then connected, and then you tap on use your indicator, the indicator will be illuminated, but it will be on the wrong side. How complicated is that? It's really complicated. So you've got to take that into account. You need to make sure that the indicator, this one, going to make sure that the indicator and the wire is on the same side and connected to the same wires, because the connectors are the same, connected together using the same connectors when installing on the EvoTech Tail Tidy. Because if you don't, and the indicators are swapped the other way around and the connectors are installed in reverse, they're installed like this, not like this, then what you'll have is an indicator that, if you hit the left indicator, could illuminate the right indicator, which is not what you want, and vice versa. So what you could do is you could take maybe like a coloured pen, but on this occasion we're going to be using little dots. So pick a colour. Luke Ryan's going to pick blue as the right for the right hand side indicator. And I was also going to put it on the connectors. I've got if it sticks. And it's not sticking. Oh, good. It's not sticking because the indicator's dirty. Good. Alright, how else can we do this? What about the inside? Okay. We're going to use blue for the right hand side. And then we can use green for the left hand side. Remember, you do not want these dots disappearing, or you will not be able to figure out which indicator is for which. It's not easy. So our indicators are labelled blue for right and green for left, and green for offside, blue for near side, and then pop your colours away. Okay. So now you're happy you've done that, you need to route the rear line cluster. You now need to disconnect it and completely disconnect it. So you might want to turn the tail the other way around and following the wiring loom, BMW, so it's made of good tough stuff. an exceptional wiring loom. And then you just need to get it through as best that you can. Remember the blue and the green dots, or you want to be wary that they don't go missing. Okay, so the wiring's really starting to come away now. It's not easy, so just keep working it. Okay. Okay, so you've successfully removed the rear light cluster. You don't want that to get knocked or damaged, so have a good think of where you feel will be safe, because that is one expensive unit. Right, so now I'm going to need to figure out these puppies. These are the indicators. Okay, your next job is you need to remove the indicators. They are held on what looks like bushings. So literally we just need to try and force these puppies through. And okay, so what Luke Rice did there was he just twisted the indicator and just kept twisting until the rubber bung just found its way out. Now remember what we said about the electrical connectors and the blue and the green. So what you could do is, if you want to be absolutely sure, you're going to take the indicator for the correct side and pop it on beside your R90, so the indicator is like this. Pop it down on the correct side of your R90. And then you can do the same with this one as well. Oh, great, it just came out. Just by twisting, actually, just by twisting the neck door. Just gonna feed it through. Complicated, isn't it? So much to it. And then again, take it. And we're gonna load it onto the correct side. So what you can do now, this is a disassembled factory tail, completely disassembled. And now we're going to put it to one side, and we're going to start getting all the parts of the Evo Performance unit, and we're going to get them all together. What you can do after working on pretty sensitive electronics, if you have a cover like what Luke Rice is doing here, you might just want to, Luke Rice is doing here, you might just want to dust off your cover. Your beautiful gorgeous EvoTech Performance unit. This puppy's definitely going in the wash. Okay. So well done. Just going to dust it off. And we'll put the original rear indicator there, and we're going to start unpacking our EvoTech Performance. Okay, that's all of our bits. Right, Evo Performance. Got a yumminess there. Look at that plastic piece. Look at that piece of aluminium. Mmm. Oh, do you want to lick it? Do you want to lick it here, Luke Rice? Luke Rice, lick it. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that. That's like something from Batman. Batman.
Where are you?
Here. Look at that. Not plastic, aluminium. And we've got 2 packets of Evo Performance. I'm going to use these bits. Let's see what's inside. Take it from there. Be careful not to let the contents spew out. It's easily done. Oh wow, we have got a lot going on here. Holy mother. A lot. Like a lot. Like a lot. Holy crap, that's some fixings. I think literally Evo Performance, it's like they've given you all these fixings. So the idea is that it would cater for every single kind of motorcycle, every variant, every possible piece. There's a lot going on here. We've got washers and wow. Yeah. We have got a lot going on here. I might just want to put these 2 packets to one side because there is a lot going on here. Complicated. So in the packaging, you're going to find these 2 rubber pieces, and they're designed to stop the indicators as they mount to this unit here, to stop the indicators rubbing away that beautiful powder coating there by Evo Performance. That's why it has this rubber booties like that. See how they fit? Interesting. Oh, maybe. Oh no, likewise. Okay. So that's first. Doesn't matter which indicator. Start with whichever indicator you prefer, and we need to get these 2 rubber gaskets fitted. This one has green dots, so this is for indicated for the left hand side. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take the gasket and feed it through. Okay, remember your sticky pad, don't lose it. Yeah, follow it up to that beautiful BMW wiring loom. I'm going to wiggle it into place. It will find its way in. One way or another, it will find a way in to get there. It's rubber. Pretty flexible. Oh, there we go. That just took a bit of fettling. And literally have the rubber gasket at this orientation, like so, and then feed it through, push in, which is great, and twist. Oh fuck. Okay. Twist? No, that doesn't make sense. Okay. We need some grease or something like that. Just. Right. See. Do it like that and it just works. That's confusing. Okay. Ah, right, okay. Because it's rubber, you can just get it into position. So, demonstration, just like this. And then you're just going to twist it. And it will find its way. Just keep twisting it until it's in position. You can have the text. Yeah. Oh no, that does look quite nice. Okay, and just get the rubber gasket as aligned as you think is correct. Okay, so that's gasket 1. As you secure this to your R9T, it will just sandwich together. Interesting, isn't it? And it is flush. Flush as can be. Okay, so remember which side this is. This one has green, so it is for the right hand side. And you're going to go and get the next one. Okay, so you're going to take the next one. Being careful with your handy blue little dot. Feed it through. And then push in. Get it nice and tight. And then just twist. And then just, oh, there you go. And just twist. And it'll find its way. And just twist until you feel that the rubber gasket is fairly flush. Look at that. Thing of beauty. Beauty Mallorca. Remember which side this is for. Green. This is blue. So this is for the near side. Okay. So you want to keep everything as tidy as possible. In the kit are 4 beautiful black washers. You do not use the washers straight away. You use them near the end. So you're going to keep those washers and you're going to put them to one side. And then you have 4 Torx bolts. I'm not going to use them yet. We have some interesting washers, but we're not going to use them yet. We have 2 short Torx, but apparently we're not using them yet. We've got 2 nuts, very pretty, not using them yet, and then 1 massive, great big, long Torx, not using that yet. So the way to look at it is, think of the shape. This is going to be behind the R19 Racer. Remember that we labelled the indicators and we labelled blue for this side, green for this side, which would be near side. Yeah, it's giving Luke Wright a headache too. How do you feel about that? So you're going to take the right hand side indicator, you're just going to feed it through, and then see how it just knocks into place. And that's where it's going to be. It's going to be like that. And the wiring flows underneath it. God, isn't that interesting? And now we've got to bolt this together. So before you do, you need the correct torques. Look at that. You need a T25 torques. What is it called? That's a sump, the crash pan, what's it called? A sump car, right? Service time for the Yamaha XT660R. It's looking pretty chipper at the moment, but in need of a service. So this innocuous piece of metal is going to today is going to help you get the job done super quick and tidy. Show you where it goes. It goes right there. And it's an engine oil drain. What is it? Engine oil drain, yeah. Service time for my Yamaha XT660R, and this little piece of metal is going to make the job so much easier. This is comes with the motorcycle, and it's an engine oil drain. I'll show you where it goes. It's right under here. So when I put that 17 mil on, the oil just runs straight to the oil catch, rather than all over my exhausts or my sump guard, which will collect oil and drip it for months, if not forever. So yeah, what a great piece, and found it under the seat on my bike, which was 800 miles old. So it just makes my life so much easier. Very cool. Well engineered. If you want to see it in operation, do an amazing waterfall job, but we can. We're now fitting into the next section. We are fitting the last indicator. This will be green. Which is the off side. So you're going to feed the electrical connector through. Going to feed it through here, through the hole, and guide it through. Guide it through. And then you're just going to then roughly place the indicator where it's going to be, and just leave the wires as they are, just dangling like that. Then you need to take the last T25 and that's it. Going to roughly line up the indicator as best it can. It's not perfect science. on this. And what you're going to do is you're just going to tighten up. On these particular bolts, there's actually no need for Loctite, and you don't have to use it on this occasion on the two Torx, and you're actually just going to nip them up by hand as tight as you're comfortable with, and that is rock solid. The indicator is rock solid and it's not going anywhere. But this one seems to still have a bit of movement inside it, which is odd. Yeah, just a bit of movement, which is odd because there's no movement on this side, but there's movement on this side. Something's not right. Damn it. Something's just not quite right. What you're doing is trying to make some progress. Try this again. I'm going to try again. It's going in quite nicely.
Frame, get a coffee pot. Time to get the oil out of the frame. First things first, you're going to need a coffee cup with a hole in the bottom of it. Pop that over and give it a bit of a squeeze because you're going to use it to direct the oil as you remove the it works though. Is that an extension missing or something? Why can't? When removing the oil from the frame, I usually like to use a coffee cup so that when I remove but otherwise it'll go all over your tyre. You've got to do this. Oh my god. Oh. I'm sorry. Oh my god. It's gone everywhere.
No.
Oh my god, it's gone everywhere. Get to your bed. Stop.
was fixed. Okay. Look at that. It turned out to be, it's difficult to describe it, it actually turned out to be technique. Now the indicators are rock solid and they're not moving at all. They're absolutely spot on. So that's great, so we're going to move on to the next stage. And now you have to take the rear light cluster, just put the indicators to one side, and we actually need to disconnect the rear light cluster unit. On the connector are one tab that we need to lift, and then the connector block should just come away. That's the theory. It did. Okay, put the electrical systems, I'm going to put that to one side. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the rear light cluster. Okay. Have this piece in this orientation here, and then you're going to take the, call it a V piece here. You're going to take the rear light, you're going to take the rear light unit, I'm going to bump it up against the rear light cluster. It will just, the theory is it should just slide through. May require a bit of a push maybe. Yep. Will require a bit of a push, and here it goes. Good. Okay. So just keep pushing the rear light cluster until it's flush and you hear the toot, and the studs all the way through behind. And you're going to take the piece like this. Be careful not to scratch or damage the anodized powder coated. Okay, so you're now going to need the two nuts here that are shaped in this orientation, where the nut is quite stood up and that's flush. Okay, and what you're going to do here is first of all tighten the nuts on by hand, like so, keeping the unit together as best that you can. Make sure you're as in as possible, which we definitely are. And that one as well. Make sure you push the two pieces together. Just to bring them as close as possible. And then you could either use a 10mm socket on a ratchet or a 10mm spanner. And you're going to tighten up the nuts just as tight as they will go. Pretty much hand tight using just a tool. There's no washers involved on these two nuts. And they'll just push against the aluminium and it just brings all the pieces up nice and tight and flush. That's good. bonuses out of using a spanner is you can just get a bit more leverage on there. You're actually at this point making some pretty good progress. And now you're going to take the electrical system, electrical connectors, rotate the part where you're comfortable, and you need to reattach the electrical unit. Remember, the tab was on the wall. It's this orientation here. Take note as well where the pins locate. Yeah. Okay. And now you're going to push the electrical connector in till you feel a firm click. And okay, you've done it. Well done. Well done. And now we're going to take the indicator unit, and now we're going to fit that part next. So you're going to place the indicator unit like this, but the trick is you need to make sure that the electrical wires are running underneath the indicators without them getting crushed. So you just need to have a good fiddle. Fiddling, don't stop. Okay, that's the orientation we need. Okay, good. Okay. Damn it. Oh. It's slotted into place, that's why. So make sure you're, make sure your electrical wires are as inside the unit as possible. Important not to let the electrical wires get crushed down. I'm going to push the indicator unit in, and it will just slot in. Give it a nice firm push if you're unsure. Like so. Okay, now you're going to rotate the unit around, and now we need to lock the indicators into place. And so now we need to lock the indicators in. Right, so make sure you've got everything. This is hard work, guys. Okay. So what you need are these two stubby bolts here. They are two bolts you need are the shortest out of all the Torx bolts you have in your kit. Just to show you. Okay. These are the short Torx bolts with the shortest chamfer on them, which would be where the threads are. You will need a T25 Torx. So what you're going to do is you're now going to screw Torx heads on as smooth, as tight as you'd like to go. No washers required on this occasion. And you're going to tighten it up, but as hand tight as you can go. And no thread lock required. far, this is what the unit is looking like at the moment, and looking pretty good. I'm going to bring the plastic formed EvoTech Performance tray. You also have these outstanding aluminium machined washers. And what they do is in each of these big holes, you're going to put the washer into the holes and it will make a noise, and the washers will sit flush. Give them a good push, just make sure they make that noise. So and then put it to one side. Whoa. So what you're going to do now is to take the unit and you're just going to line them up to the holes as best that you can. And now you move back onto the R9T and line these two pieces up. Right. Here we go. It grinds a bit of the hose. He needs to make some progress, really. So remember what Luke Wright mentions, it doesn't hurt to electrical systems in. Electrical systems in. What you got to take into account is you need to line up the holes with the washers and the plastic tray, and they need to line up with the threads in the frame, and that's how the whole unit tightens together. We now need to connect indicators and rear indicators, and we'll need to tidy this wiring up. So we're going to do that now. Okay. On the indicators, to connect them back in, look for the nib on the plastic nib on the indicator, and that it needs to connect to this plastic piece here. And the rear, the ribby bit of the plastic is on the other side. Now we're going to move on to the module, this connector here, that operates the rear light cluster and the indicators. What you're going to do is you're going to take this plastic piece here and you're going to reconnect it to this connector here, and it will slide on. And you should hear that reassuring click. Now we need to connect the two connectors together. Looking, and you'll figure it out. That's the electrical connector back in place. Give it a visual inspection. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Outstanding. So what you can do before you start putting this section back together, test your electrical connections, make sure that the indicators are working left and right, check the brake light, check the number plate light, check the daytime running light before putting everything back together to make sure there's no problems. Right. Front. Rear. Number plate. And what you can start doing, if you'd like to, you can use a set of cable ties and just cable tie the BMW wiring together, so it's just a bit more tidy, and a bit more together. That to be perfect, just needs to be together. And you can take a set of snips.
Cool.
thanks for watching everybody, Luke Ride. So, a big job. It is a very big job in order to build the EvoTech Performance Tail Tidy for the R NineT Racer. A lot to disassemble. The installation, because of EvoTech Performance using the type of washers that they have, oh, they are the most fiddly washers in the entire planet and frustrate you like crazy how they keep popping out every time you're trying to align the actual tail tidy component, which is really stupid. But apart from that, stunning engineering. The only and number one tail tidy that you should have for your R NineT Racer.
You're goddamn right.
Your classic superbike, but also the R NineT. Yeah. So, there you have it. Thanks for watching now.
The way we...
The little rascal has spirit. As water.
This is the end of the trail for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, kid.
Can Luke Ride drink as a holy coffee? I reckon he can. Can he? Can he? Can he hear it? Can he? Yeah. It's the boom bang.